This video will cover some helpful tips and tricks for LinMot Designer. To switch between metric and English measurement units, double-click on the button in the bottom left corner. You can also type the units. Designer will auto-convert to the selected units. For example, a 1-inch stroke will be converted into 25.4 millimeters. You can also do the same with mass. A load of 5 pounds, for example, will be automatically converted to its equivalent in grams. In the Layout tab, you can find the size stroke length, which is represented in yellow. You are also given the maximum stroke of the motor, the maximum installation space, and your actual installation space required for your sizing. When you've completed your sizing, you can compare LinMot's estimated annual emissions, energy consumption, and energy costs to pneumatic cylinders of different diameters. The factors used to make these calculations are shown below each table. If you go to Measurement Settings, you can change the currency and the energy costs used in the calculations. Designer also allows you to import custom curves, such as curves recorded in an oscilloscope trace of an existing machine. To do this, select a segment, change the type to Custom, click on Data, then Load, and select your curve file. You can also shorten or lengthen the duration of the curve by editing the segment and changing the duration. If only a portion of a move will need to apply a force, you can simulate this using the Custom Force feature. In this example, I want 40 newtons of force to be applied in the last 10 millimeters of this 100 millimeter stroke. To get to Custom Force, go to Global Settings, then Load, and then click the button next to Custom Force 1. Editing the force data will open the Data Points window. Here, the force curve can be defined by either typing force values or importing a file that includes the force profile. In this example, I will only put 2 data points of 40 newtons as I want 40 newtons to be applied for the last 10 millimeters of the stroke. The magnitude of the original data can be subsequently changed under Data Scaling. An offset can be defined to adjust the baseline from the original data under Data Offset. Under Data Range, the stroke can be defined in which the force curve has an effect. In this example, that will be 10 millimeters. The element position indicates where the force will start on the stroke. In this example, that will be 90 millimeters. The Extend Range feature defines what happens before and after the defined stroke. Option 0 assumes that the additional force will stay constant at 0 afterwards or beforehand. Option Constant uses the first or last data point and keeps this force afterwards or beforehand. In this example, both left and right will be set to 0. Once you are done configuring your custom force, you can click OK in the configuration page and Global Settings. You can now see the forces being applied. If you only want the force to be applied in a single segment, you can go back to the configuration window for your custom force and enable segment mode. In this example, I want force to only be applied during the forward movement, so I will select only segment 1. Now the force is only applied in the forward movement. More information about any of these features can be found by clicking on the Display Tutorial button at the top.